Friends, through the years as consumers of pop culture, we've spent a lot of time with heroes and villains as they battle each other through the ages. But one aspect of any good hero that's often overlooked is the sidekick. Now, there have been some fantastic sidekicks over the years, whether by design where the main character is actually the sidekick in a form of intentional misdirection, or sidekicks who are just so fun and interesting that they steal the show unintentionally. But what happens when a sidekick character is not only the best character in a story, but is also too frequently being overlooked as being that best character? I've got one such character in mind, and I think that it's time to give him his due. Welcome back to Space Castle, where our continuing mission is to explore all things nerdy in the universe. I'm your Captain DT, and I firmly believe that sidekicks are incredibly important. They're never in the spotlight, but they help to make sure the spotlight stays on our hero. They're the person who oftentimes inspires a hero to be heroic or encourages them to keep doing the right thing. In many cases, the sidekick acts as the hero's conscience.
Alright, I think you're giving yourself a little too much credit here.
What? Wait, do you think I'm the sidekick here?
Yes?
Well, so the sidekick frequently doesn't engage in physical confrontation, frequently because they're confined to a fucking TV screen above a navigation console and literally can't do anything of value besides nag the hero on their weekly journey. But sometimes the sidekick is actually the muscle, helping the hero out of a tight jam or even engaging in physical feats that the hero is unable to perform themselves. And sometimes, the sidekick is actually the emotional core of the entire story, being there to show love and support, but also to offer a snarky one-liner or comment to get things back on track. Sometimes, the sidekick is the best character in a 50-year-long franchise and never gets the respect and admiration he deserves. Friends, I'm here to tell you that Chewbacca is not only a great character in Star Wars, but the best character in Star Wars and possibly any other franchise ever. Now, I know what you're thinking, fellow nerds. How can Chewbacca be the best character in Star Wars with such a large cast of characters across 9 movies? You might be thinking, oh, it's gotta be this guy. This is the best character in Star Wars. No, this guy messed up at his job so badly that he inadvertently helped create one of the worst villains of all time and would be directly responsible for mass genocide. He also lied to this villain's kid, tried to get the kid to kill him without ever telling him they were even related. And this guy? Exact same thing, but when Luke directly asks Yoda if Darth Vader is his father, Yoda reacts like... No, it is very clear who the best character in Star Wars is, and... Dude, no. Come on, seriously? No, come on. You were so annoying at first that everybody disliked you, and it still doesn't even make sense that the Jedi Council, who actively feared and disliked Anakin Skywalker and distrusted him, would give him a Padawan. That is such reckless abandon and a massive liability. The only thing that keeps you above sidekick status in your own series is that everybody else around you is a complete idiot. The greatest and best character in all of Star Wars is Chewbacca, and it's not even close. Originally inspired by George Lucas's own dog sitting in the front seat on car trips, that alone is enough to convince anyone that Chewbacca is the greatest, because dogs are the greatest and we do not deserve them, and as such, we do not deserve Chewbacca either. Performed by the late and awesome Peter Mayhew, Chewbacca was originally going to be performed by David Prowse, who was instead shifted over to embody Darth Vader on screen. This was a fortuitous change of fate for Peter Mayhew, who at a staggering 7-foot 3-inch frame was immediately cast for the role of Chewie when he stood up to greet George Lucas at their meeting. Mayhew set about developing the physical performance of Chewbacca by studying zoo animals, particularly bears, monkeys, and gorillas, and he embodied the role so well and created such a nuanced performance that the other actors on set swore that they could tell when it was Mayhew in costume versus one of his stand-ins. George Lucas himself said that Mayhew was the closest any human being could be to a Wookiee. Big heart, gentle nature, and I learned to always let him win. And it was Mayhew's wonderful physical performance that helped bring such a lovely character to life. The only part of Mayhew himself that's visible in the head-to-toe yak and mohair costume was his piercing, kind blue eyes, which further added to the heart and kind nature of the character. We know when he wasn't tossing stormtroopers around like ragdolls or choking the shit out of a motherfucker who deserved it. Mayhew's brilliant physical performance was paired with brilliant sound design from signature Star Wars sound designer Ben Burtt. Burtt combined a mixture of sound recordings of walruses, tigers, bears, and even badgers to create Chewbacca's voice, which is easily a top 5 recognizable Star Wars sound. And the mix is so nuanced and so carefully crafted to match the tone of Chewbacca's inflection that it's just proved easier and more cost-effective to just recycle those Chewbacca sounds for pretty much any form of media the Wookiee has appeared in since 1983. If you listen closely, you'll hear the exact same Chewbacca sounds from the original trilogy in media like Knights of the Old Republic or even Star Wars movies that have come since Return of the Jedi. But what is it that makes Chewbacca the best character in Star Wars? He is quietly the emotional heart of the entire saga. He's the one who nudges Han Solo, our lovable rogue and co-hero, in the right direction. He's brave, loyal, and he's hilarious. He'll follow you into the pits of hell as long as there's no Dianoga creature lying in wait.
Come here, you big coward. Chewie, come here.
He'll take an entire moon to the forehead to save somebody he cares about, and he did it with defiance. Though we don't talk about that. Throughout the original trilogy, it's Chewbacca who has the funniest, most heartfelt moments. He's got perhaps my favorite scene in any Star Wars movie where, in Empire Strikes Back, he quietly and contemplatively goes to work reactivating a blown-apart C-3PO. Now, everything in the movie has gone to hell at this point. Lando has betrayed Han, Leia, and Chewie, Luke is nowhere to be found, and things are at their most bleak. Chewie bides his time and tries to make sense of it all by doing what he does best, fixing something. In this case, it's getting his friend up and running again. Later on, he sets aside Lando's betrayal and the two of them team up to track down and rescue Han. And in Return of the Jedi, Chewie saves both Han and Lando's lives. He's also the first one to volunteer to go to the forest moon of Endor with Han on what's kind of an idiotic and badly planned scheme to blow up the Death Star 2's shield generator.
That's gonna be rough, pal. I didn't want to speak for you. That's one.
But Han is his boy, and he's not going to let him go alone. Han says that he didn't want to speak up for him, but he never needed to because that's the kind of homie Chewie is. He is a ride or die on a level that puts even Dom Toretto to shame.
Family.
Amongst his other many heroic exploits, Chewie is the one who introduces everyone in A New Hope, pilots the Millennium Falcon to escape the Death Star, fixes the Millennium Falcon on every occasion, rescues C-3PO from being melted, survives having R2-D2 dropped on his f***ing head, is entrusted by Han Solo to take care of the woman he loves, steals a goddamn AT-ST and saves everyone at Endor, almost eats this f***ing thing that's actually a deer's ass with fake teeth shoved into it, watches his best friend get killed and still completes the mission, rushes back to the Falcon and comes back to save Rey and Finn, two dipshits he only just met that day. And he does all of this without need of praise, reward, or a goddamn medal. He's just there to back up his friends and get things done. Also, he piloted the Millennium Falcon by himself in The Last Jedi and did all of this wild shit in a ship that clearly needs two pilots to function. Chewie is the baddest motherfucker in the galaxy. And all of this to say nothing of the fact that he's the only character who isn't a sad sack in the sequel trilogy. Luke is a washed-up coward hiding from his nephew. Han has lost any growth in character development and has gone right back to just swindling people and doing crimes. Leia is helping run a government that's so broken and dysfunctional that a much smaller, much lamer version of the Empire was allowed to pop up and blow the entire New Republic to hell. But Chewie? Chewie is just trying to be loyal and stand by his friends, even though he knows they're doing stupid crap. He's the best character in the galaxy, the best character in all of Star Wars, and it's time that we recognize this and agreed upon it. So what's your favorite thing about Chewbacca? Leave a comment down below and let's heap praise upon George Lucas's greatest creation. And be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. It really does help the Space Castle's mission to explore everything nerdy in the universe. Special thanks goes out to my friend Riley on Discord for telling me to make this video. And if you want to help pick a future topic, we've got links in the show notes below for both Patreon and Discord, where Galactonauts receive all sorts of perks and bonus content. Thanks once again so much for hanging out. This is your Captain DT, signing off.